Oh, yeah.
I remember going to a Grant Cardone 10X conference, and this guy's up there's like, "We're gonna grow your business on Facebook," and I went and checked him out, and my dog had more followers on Instagram.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Patrick Carr Show. I've got a great guest here for you today. You're going to want to meet this gentleman right here, Jared Quackenbush, okay? He's coming over from the East Coast over in Cocoa Beach. He's a local guy right here from Florida. And also, a guy who does something similar to what we do here at Blue Collar Media Group. This guy is an agency media owner, Rock City Media. Jared, thank you so much for joining us today, man.
Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate you having me on. Seeing the space here, it looks great.
Thanks, I appreciate it, man.
Everyone's been so nice.
Yeah, everyone's on their best behavior today.
Yeah.
So, no, we got a great crew here, and they do an amazing job. So it's pretty cool to have a nice audience right here, and we'll try to see if we can bring some value to our viewers here.
You got it.
All right, so Rock City Media, brother. I want to talk about this. You're working with small business owners across the country. I guess the initial question is, how do you get involved in the video production and media world? That my viewers have already heard my story. Tell them yours.
I like sharing this one. I originally moved to Florida right out of college. I was a school teacher. My degree was I was in secondary education, which was middle school and high school teacher. My major was biology. My minor was PE, and that's just because half my classes were in the gym. So like, it made college a little more enjoyable. And I got a job teaching in Melbourne, Florida, which is out on the east coast of Orlando, and just really fell in love with Florida. And my wife and I, we were fairly newly married. Then I liked teaching. I had somebody at college who really kind of encouraged me to give it a shot. They thought, I went to a university that was very limited on like the degrees you could get. It was a Christian university. And so a lot of the males were there to be preachers or things like that. And so I chose the education route. So I get a job in Florida, fell in love with it. We had all our kids here. And then after 5 years of teaching, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And which led us to moving to Rochester, New York, and working for my family's pest control company. It's my uncle started it, and it's run by my cousin. I'd encourage you, if there's any blue collar people, go check them out. It's called Town and Country Pest Solutions. They are an incredible company, and now they're starting to get recognized in the industry as leaders, which they are. So I'm really happy to see that for them. And thankfully, they gave me a shot. So through college, I was a door-to-door salesman for TruGreen, and this is all going to tie in eventually. I'll be quick. But so they wanted me to do their door-to-door sales, like kind of bring that in. That was at least part of the discussion from my cousin. And thankfully, my cousin, who's just a couple years older than me, has always been very forward-thinking, like open to ideas. And the pest control industry is a very like dated industry as well. So I moved to New York, and they tricked me. I was there when the weather was really good, and then I got to see what winters were like. That was fun. But so we're there, and I'm seeing at the time, Patrick, my wife had an e-commerce store. She was making clothing by hand for children. And this was before people were following people on Instagram that weren't your family. Like it was just, you posted your food and your kids. And dude, she had like 20,000 followers. I'm like, wait, who are these people following you? And so I was blown away by the brand that she was building online. And it was something to the effect of, I just said to my cousin, like, what if we just really go all in on social media? And I think I can hit a lot more people than I could like knocking doors. And he basically said, go for it. So, but I didn't know anything about cameras. When I worked at the church, I was on camera a lot. So I was the guy lots of times welcoming people. We had a media guy at the church. So I was always fascinated by the cameras and gimbals. And we did one church commercial. The guy had a slider. I thought it was so cool. And so I was always interested. Well, at Town and Country, at the time, they had an incredible full-time photographer, and he did the website too, which was, again, this is very forward thinking. Like not many companies have that today, but they had it. And I learned a lot from him, really. He started dabbling into video, and I was very interested in it, but we wanted to put out videos quicker. And Ryan had a lot on his plate, from doing photography to doing the website. So we all knew Snapchat stories, Instagram stories came out, and I said to my cousin, "Hey, what if I start making videos with my phone, and if they stink, they're gone in 24 hours?" And so again, my cousin said, "Go for it." So like he gave me that gave me that freedom to try to do it, and I just fell in love with making videos and watching videos on YouTube. So I would watch a lot of YouTubers, learn, and then that really started growing. We built the largest social media following in the pest control industry, bigger than I haven't looked at it lately, but at the time with the YouTube channel, like it was more than Terminex or Orkin. And then it grew from like doing it with real cameras. So just little by little opportunities, but I was filming with phones before people were filming with phones. And I yeah,
See, I think that I'm just thinking about this right now. I've never thought about it before. So let me work out this thought in real time with you. I really think that the opportunity for a small time, I say small time, a new video agency became exponentially greater when they started using video on Instagram. It wasn't that long ago because, video on Instagram wasn't even a thing for the first few years of it. It was just pictures. And then I remember they introduced video. And I thought to myself, you mean now I'm going to be able to see Dan Bilzerian's life like on video at that time, he was popular on Instagram before that.
very
And I thought, well, now, he's never going to be able to do it on video because all that stuff is staged. Little did I know I was way off on that. People like the people,
stage video too
yeah, I
now, but
guess you
yeah.
can stage video too.
Well, but you said Instagram, like they failed at video. Like, do you remember IGTV? It
Yes.
was like that was I mean, I guess it was a fail, but these are all stepping stones to get to where they're at now. But they tried a lot of things. They wanted to put out long form videos like YouTube, and no one really used it.
You're right.
Yeah, so it's really interesting, like the quick evolution of it, and then starting it all led to a point of kind of growing to I don't want to say a ceiling, but like I reached a point at the company where I just was looking for what was next, and uh, a friend of mine from college started a roofing company, and he was like, "Hey, tell me about what you're doing. I see what you're doing for your." So he was my first client, but all in that week when my friend reached out, that same week we had a lady from the local news station, the ABC station. So she came by our office to sell us TV ads.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I was the guy my cousin like sent people to. Like, I'll go talk to because and so she said, I remember, she's like, "Who's the agency you work with?" And I said, "What's an agency?"
Mhm.
She's like, "Well, the people who do the videos I see." I'm like, "I'm just doing that with my phone. Like, what are you talking like?" And she's like, "Oh, like it's good." Because the phones at the time, they didn't have lens like 3 lenses. It was
Right.
1 lens, and for, I don't know if you've ever heard the company Moment, but Moment was a company that made phone lenses that you could screw onto your case.
Good.
So I had a wide, I had a telephoto, so I was doing phone videos with 3 focal lengths, but I was screwing lenses on my phone. And stabilization wasn't good then, so we were using little phone gimbals, and then she was like, "Well, I think this stuff's good." I'm like, "Well, okay." Like, so then there was a lot of that affirmation that kinda kept coming, and my wife was like, "You should just go for it. You should go for it." And then so we signed that roofing company. They were my first customer, and
I think there are a lot of men that get trapped into a job or a career that they're waking up today and they go, I don't even like what I'm doing right now. But they're afraid to make that change because there's unknown on the other side. I'm curious what advice you would give them because you made that jump, not one, two, three, multiple times in your life. Was it a belief in yourself? Was it having a great wife who said, "Hey, I believe in you and you can do this"? What allowed you to make that jump?
it was definitely so my wife, she's a large dreamer, and I think I am too, but due to how I grew up, dreaming wasn't always encouraged. There was a structure and a box and a certain way to do things. So I had these ideas and these desires, and I wasn't encouraged to, express them or go for them. So it took being in my early 30s, like being a grown man with a family and 3 kids to be like, I want to take some risks on myself. So my wife was incredibly encouraging. But I tell you what, the- all those s- job changes, man, they felt like huge disadvantages. And let me explain.
Yeah.
I had friends who went to college, or I knew who went to college out of high school, became a doctor, and they were a doctor before they were 30. And here I am I'm 33, and I don't even know I'm changing so much. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have just picked something. And it took a really good friend of mine from another really good friend of mine who I saw was reading a lot of books, a lot of books. And well, he started asking me questions. I'm like, dude, I feel like I'm such an disadvantage. I've changed jobs so many times. I still don't know what I want to do. Now I'm starting this new thing. Now businesses are wanting me to do their media. And he's like, it was all these steps. He encouraged me to read a book. And I'm going to say what the book is. It was How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. And he's like, dude, you're viewing this as a disadvantage. This is a huge advantage. And he called it talent stacking. You've done a different thing at each job where your friend who's a doctor, he's good at one thing. You now can, each opportunity leads to a new opportunity. So I was a teacher. So I got to practice what we're doing now, planning and communicating and leading. I was a soccer coach. So I got to learn how to, be organized and just like very similar to teaching. Then I learned social media, and then I learned video and photo. And each one of these things have led to kind of like who I am today. It would have been a much easier approach to just go straight there, but it didn't happen that day. And now, as we'll probably talk about, a new niche that we're approaching in our company, I'm only able to do that because of all these little steps that I've taken. And a lot of them weren't incredibly successful, but viewing all those so mindset was huge, but viewing all those things I've done as an advantage and not a disadvantage.
I love that word, talent stacking. I think
Talent stacking. It's a great book. I read it about once every 3 years. I just finished it again. And yeah, talent stacking.
what do you think that most business owners don't understand about video production? They overlook it.
Okay.
They don't give it thought.
Well, working with blue collar people,
Yeah.
you'll have a meeting. They'll say, "Have you ever heard this, Patrick? Social media doesn't work."
Oh, I heard it
I've
all the
heard.
time. Yeah. Or it's
I'm
just for branding. It doesn't have to do
and I'm
lead
like, well, who was doing it?
gen.
And I work a lot in the chimney space with chimney professionals, which isn't much different than the roofing space. And they'll be like, well, I was doing it. I'm like, dude, you're not even changing your oil in your car on time. You're doing the social media. Like, you are a certified chimney professional, which is helping people have a live active fire in their home. And you need to make sure it's safe. There's a reason why. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing so I always ask it to them, like, how would you feel if I told you a roof doesn't work? And then when you say why, I say I did it. And they would say, well, what experience do you have? What what materials did you use? Who was the crew? And it's just so similar. So there is a little bit of that, like, social media doesn't work. And I want to say, well, so I always like asking why. We got to get to the root. Was it a company? You've heard, well, I worked with a company, they promised everything and they never delivered. And that's going to happen. I would like to say, I mean, luckily we have a perfect 5-star review. That's
You do.
because people haven't left.
Yep.
It hasn't been perfect, right? Like, even though that's what we strive for. So I hear that a lot, and it's like, why should I invest in this? And, it's something that we have to really help them overcome. As far as just being on camera, we learned right away that it's getting better, but a lot of these home service professionals, they just want to work hard, provide for their family, and to the government and everyone else to leave them alone.
Yep.
And so to say, like, now I have to step up and show up on camera, that's just more work. And so what I've noticed in home service professionals is the highs are highs and the lows are lows. When the hail hits, oh, we're getting all the insurance claims, and then the hail goes away, or we're running out of that 2-year window or whatever where we could do hail insurance claims, and oh, now I actually have to get people to pay for the roof. And the highs are highs and the lows are lows. So I come in and I say, how can we want to help you maintain that steady flow. So So we want your highs to be as highs, but we want to avoid your lows getting low. And we can do that when there's competition that people know that you're the top of mind authority in a 30-mile radius. So that's something to think about. Also, I really recommend like working with a company that can help you feel comfortable on camera. I know through conversations, you guys do a lot of scripting. I don't do a lot of scripting, but both of our approaches are still making it easy for the individual on camera. So I'll explain. Uh, we've never been the best videographers. I've been blessed to hire people who are way better than me, but I've gotten very good at interviewing people and asking questions and making people feel comfortable. So I have a plan going into working with this individual. Here's the video we're making. Here's the points we want to hit. And I'm going to have a conversation with you, very much like a podcast that gets the answers out to where you don't worry about the cameras. You just feel comfortable. You're in the room. You don't have to worry about saying it perfectly every time. That works for us. Yes, the interviews are long and then there's a lot of editing, but scripting can do the same thing. If you have to shoot a lot of content in a short amount of time, hey, I can help you. Here's the script. We're going to coach you through it. But working with somebody who has experience with anybody can push record on a camera. If these guys, they have iPhones in their pockets with 4K cameras. If they could do it, they would be doing it. So having a company come in that can help you and coach you, keep you accountable, can actually help you get to the goals that you're trying to get to.
Yeah, I've said before, one of the biggest values of hiring a company like yours or like mine is that we hold you accountable to actually doing the video. One of the biggest advantages people don't think about is, hey, you've paid me, now you got to do it. And especially on our annual contracts, it's like, oh boy, I've already paid him. I guess I got to have him come back out here again. We have to do the pre-production. We have to script. Okay, we're making the content now we otherwise wouldn't have made. And that's one of the biggest advantages of media companies nobody ever thinks about. One of the things, though, you brought up about the marketing side, though, that made me think, I think a lot of times when I ask a contractor about, hey, what have you done with video in the past? Well, it hasn't worked for me. I had a marketing company, and I ask them, what kind of video did you give them? Well, I took some stuff on my cell phone. What kind of pictures did you give them? I took some when I was out on a job site from Company Cam or something.
Yeah, I
Oh,
do.
okay. And you just gave them that, and that's what they were working with. My point is to say that sometimes it's not the marketing company. Sometimes it's the assets you're giving the marketing company. And they got nothing to work with. And another advantage of a company like yours or mine, whether you script it or not, is you're giving that marketing company a fair shot. You're giving them great assets to be able to market your business. It's marketing. If you don't give them something to market with, you expect them just to work miracles on Canva or Photoshop with nothing. You have to give that company something that tells individuals about your brand and your story and what you're selling and your product. That's what makes it powerful. And then a marketing company either is going to fail or they're going to succeed. If they fail on that one and you've given them good stuff, that's on them. But there's got to be some responsibility on the business owner for me to go out there and generate great content with a company like yours.
I have a couple things I want to touch on that. Do you guys do ads?
We do not do any camp marketing. We are video production through and through.
So what I love to do is sometimes I find the company that they're already investing in ads, and then through a search on Facebook, you can see the ads pretty quickly. Yeah, but a lot of ad agencies are very like competitive. They don't want to share anything. So I come in, let's to an ad agency. Let's say I'll find a company I'm working with. We're about to close the company right now. They're spending like 30K a month in advertising, and they're using severely outdated content and a lot of content from the manufacturer, so it's not even theirs. So I said, can I actually have an introduction meeting with your ad buyer? And so, but I've done this many times, and here's what we're going to do, and here's what we do. I just say, hey, I know you're working with this company, and they've reached out to us. I don't do what you do, but I say, how can I help you serve them better with content? So that kind of brings their guard down. But second of all, when I'm meeting with the client, it's like sometimes just a 5%, a good piece of content, if we could take your ad from here to here, that could be another 6 figures a month. So I think it's great when people are running ads, but I want to make those ads perform a heck of a lot better. Also, professional content matters. we want to help you show up publicly, and I know you guys do, in a way that accurately reflects the quality of service you provide. You are a high ticket plumber. We don't want you to show up half-assed. Like, and if you offer a high ticket business, roofing is expensive. It's an expensive service. It's not lawn care. It's not, $100 a cut. It is an expensive investment on a home. And why would I invest in a company who won't even invest in themselves at the ticket that they are? So when I'm a homeowner, when I'm looking at companies to come and work, I'm looking for the companies that invest in their business, that show up in a way that actually, okay, training videos are huge, or customer experience videos. We're doing them right now
Love it.
I work with a mover. We're doing customer experience videos so the customers know what to expect when they arrive to the door. Um, we were contracted through a big marketing agency, but we did a bunch of training videos for Renewal by Anderson, an incredible, huge window and door company. So I had a front row seat because we filmed it all to like their sales process, and they they let them know what to expect when they're driving up to the house. And so, uh, business that show up professionally we usually win professionally.
Absolutely. I get you're couldn't be more right because you've stepped in front of those businesses like I have, and they're looking for video production or they're looking to now invest in themselves and their brand. And we'll ask them questions. Well, what have you done in the past? What's your history of doing this? And they'll say something. I'll give you an example. There's a popular company in the home services industry called Engage,
Okay.
and they put together presentations for homeowners that are templated so that every one of your sales reps who are stepping in front of a homeowner, they've got the same
Oh, that's
presentation.
nice.
And then what they can do is they add in certain features to where, let's say the customer answers your question one way, you can take the presentation that way.
That's
And so
cool.
it's a great interactive presentation that they build for you. They also have these cool features, like for instance, if you stay on something for 5 minutes, they'll track it once you open it up. So they'll look at their top performers and they'll go, okay, the top performer stays on this slide for
Oh
30
my goodness.
seconds. You're on it for five. What are you talking about in our company story for five
Man, I
minutes
need
right now?
this.
It's, it's great. But
That's right.
yeah, it's called Engage with an I. Great service. But what happens is we'll ask these home service providers about how they're using the product. And they'll say, well, we're using it like we should. What are the pictures in there and the videos you're showing people? Well, we took them with their iPhone, or we had a company that came out, a guy, we paid him like $500 for the day and he put something together. We really don't like it, but it's all that we have. And I guess it really it really kind of shines light on your point that these people who say they're professional, you're the professional choice. We cost more because we do better work. Our product is superior because we have better craftsmanship, whatever the situation is. And then over here, you're showing me not professional. You're showing me cell phone videos. You're showing me something that some kid put together for you 5 years ago. And you want me as a customer to believe that you're the professional choice. That doesn't jive right there. That doesn't make sense to your potential customer.
That's why he said, like, you're not showing up in a way that accurately reflects the quality of service
Yeah,
you provide. So,
absolutely.
and yes, there's a range that you can do that. Like, there's a minimum. We have that, and then there's the top end to like going all in on it. So, super important.
Yeah. Why don't you think business owners value high quality video production enough? Because there are some that do. Others of them, I'll tell them this is our price. And they'll go, oh God, man, I can't, man, $10,000 for this, or 20,000, or 10,000, 5,000. Way too much. Why do you think some business owners just don't value high quality professional video like they should?
So, one great thing to do is say, well, one thing that's so why don't they? Well, one, I mean, by us putting out content and educating them, like we're equipping them to do it on their own. Okay, I think I just saw it was either an ad of yours or just one of your social media posts, and it was talking about like the different types of content, like well, scripting and training and all these videos. And someone put in the comments, I actually read it. They're like, you just told them what to do.
Yeah. I know what
So,
you're talking about.
well,
Yeah.
what we gave you, but then you still have to go do it. Okay. Um, so accountability is big. If they could do it, they would. Um, I just don't think I think they're just content. I think they're content with where they're at. I notice if they don't want to grow, it's hard for me to pitch them what I offer because I'm going to help you grow in more ways than just viewers. I'm going to grow you as a leader. We're going to grow you as a communicator. We're going to grow you. Okay, we're better at this now. But when I was starting, how many times I would go out, we'd do a 2-day shoot, come back, and the business owner would be like, wait, no one was wearing their hard hats?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, now we have a better
Yeah, of
process
course.
for
I've
that.
been there. I've been there.
But I'm like, well, that's not my job. These are your employees. I'm capturing it. So now, like, we communicate that, hey, your team's going to be on camera. So make sure they are dressed and equipped in a way that you want people to see publicly. I mean, so there's a lot of benefits to it because now, like, you start showing up online on a regular basis, it's hard to fake it. Everybody could do one TV commercial. Everybody could do one 30-second TV commercial, right? But to show up to your community consistently saying, hey, this is who we are. Hey, this is who we are. Um, it's hard if they don't want that. I don't know. I mean, I'm still learning how to like sell that better. Like if they don't want the growth, so I have to like, are you gonna invest in your business? And if they're like, I don't really want to.
I think two things hold them back that they're afraid to say. Number one, of course, they're afraid of the judgment of other people. The bravado sets in.
Okay.
And I think they really have a problem expressing that. And they put it off every time their marketing person says, hey, we need content. Yeah. Because they don't want to step in front of that camera. And I'm going to tell you the other one that we found. We do a video called Services You Offer. And it just is exactly what it is. We talk about, do you do gutter, siding, windows,
Right.
door? What do you do? And we will sit down with half the people that we're going to do this video with, and we'll say, okay, during pre-production, tell us about the services that you offer. And they'll kind of laugh, and they'll go, well, we do roofing, obviously, come on. And then you go, okay, well, what type of roofing? Residential? Do you do commercial? Are you only doing shingle, metal? Are you also doing tile? Do you do flat roofs? Do you do TPO? And all of a sudden, they start going like this. This is what happens. Well, I mean, we do metal. Are you great at it? I mean, we could do it if it came our way. And I started to realize that a lot of business owners don't even understand their offer. And when you start to get into it, they have not thought about their business specifically in a very long time. They've been in 5 years of just this, oh, we're just going. And they've been lukewarm for so long that what it does is it forces them to step out of their comfort zone and to go, my process is wrong. My customer experience process, I don't even know our steps in that process. I don't know what we're really offering right now. I don't know what my guy should do when he comes to the door and what I should tell people to expect when he comes there for the inspection. And it's like this eye-opening experience for a lot of business owners when they start really diving into producing content that could be templatable for their business.
Yeah, it's great.
At least that's what I see right now.
Also, like there is a judging thing. So we have there's a joke within the chimney industry that it's like the days of our lives. So you have these guys who will never, like they have Facebook pages, but they will never create a piece of content a day in their life. And they've been doing the chimney industry for 30 years. And then let's say I bring on a person, I bring on somebody, they're investing into their business. We're doing their videos. And now what happens? All these guys start commenting or it's in the Facebook groups. But here's what I tell my clients. You are not making content for your peers. You're making content for your customers. So if you're a roofer, you are not making content for the roofer that you compete with in your area or the roofer you look up to. You're making it for the soccer mom that lives in your county. Like that's who you're making it for. Those guys can pound sand. Like you're not making it for them. Screw those guys. Like that's a big thing I have to mindset to get people. Cause like, even in now the combat sports space, jiu-jitsu is a martial art where it takes a minimum, they say 10 years to get a black belt. It's not, the traditional like karate where you can get like I had a mom like, oh, my kid's got a black belt. And I'm like, how do in 3 years, like, and they're 12. I'm like, this is a little bit different. So there's people that as well, they're like, well, if I start putting out content, well, now people are going to tell me that I'm doing it wrong. I'm like, okay, well, maybe, but like, I have to get them through that mental barrier that you're not making. Okay. We're working with a guy. He's been training for like 7 years. He's very good, but I'm like, you are not making this content for another black belt. You're making it for your students, which are 30-year-old dads who are in tech. Like, you're not making it for the world champion. You're making it for him. So, in fact, that world champion doesn't even remember what it was like to be. In fact, they were never a 30-year-old, beginner dad in tech. Like they'll never understand. So that's something that really I would encourage people to. You make content for your customer, your avatar, whoever, your community, not for your competitors or your peers.
I think that a lot of individuals, when they look at, I don't know, the world of media, let's just say, and they're just getting started and they bought their first couple of cameras, or they bought a camera and they're out there for the first time on a job where they're being paid. And they're like, shoot, man, I'm there. And they mess up, man. And it's okay. Like for me, I used an A7 III when I first bought it. That was my first camera I bought. I was filming a podcast. I had rented an A7 III and I had an A7 III. And I put one, facing the guest and one facing me. I got up and hit record on both of them, and I sat back
Oh
down
man.
because I was hoping that it was going to go ahead with autofocus and I was going to be there. I got done with the podcast, about 45 minutes. I go over to the A7 III and it's off. And I'm like, I didn't realize it had this file limit when you do video on an A7 III.
Yeah,
They
30
do.
minute.
Yeah.
Well, I'm running into that now. So like that's the most frustrating thing now. We have a podcast that's growing, but right now I'm the one doing all of it, and that's okay because I'm very mobile doing it. I'm not to a point where I'm bringing my team with me. We shoot all the episodes in the location of the business. So that just happened recently, and I was just so frustrated with it kept turning off. It
Yeah.
recorded for like 20 minutes and it wasn't overheating.
Nope.
And I mean things happen. And we realized, okay, we're gonna get some Instagram reels from that podcast, but the whole thing's gonna be audio, and I try not to sweat it.
Beautiful.
Try not to sweat it too much.
A couple more questions that I have for you. And, I know we got about 10, 15
We're good.
minutes left here, but the question I want to ask you is about where content should be putting now. Where should individuals look at putting their content for the best return on their investment on the content? Like, I know you've invested heavily into YouTube as a long-term play for your brand, for, who you are as a business. Do you think that business owners out there, whether it be the blue-collar space or they have a dry cleaner, should YouTube be something that they're doing, or should it be social media, TikTok? Where's the best return on investment right now?
Well, you hire a company like the Blue Collar Media Group and have them do all of it.
Right.
But really, I'm encouraging people to do a few things. If you can only invest in like quality media, like go on YouTube right now, especially for the niches I serve. And then if you can invest in that with good quality, maybe you only have the budget for a media company like you guys to only focus, like let's do YouTube videos, make some reels from it. And then I'll coach you like on how to make organic, like phone content on social media. But YouTube's a huge opportunity. I mean, there's plenty of people that want to learn. And whether you've been doing this for 10 years or 30 years, you have value to give. So just give value. There's also tons of roofers out there that are driving around every day working where they would love to see like a vlog of other roofers. Like, how are they doing this? Man, they dealt with that insurance adjuster. How? Well, that's kind of cool. Like, just document what you're doing. And this isn't anything new. I mean, Gary Vee used to always say, just document, don't create. I do think it's important to have a plan and a purpose, but I think YouTube's an incredibly like missed opportunity still, but really it is, I think, investing in the content for your advertising.
Yes.
But then let's see, when you see an ad, I saw your ads for a while, but then I go to your page. So I'm not going to click on you right away. I don't even know who you are. So I'm going to go vet you on your social media pages. And now I want to see like, okay, the media companies have a huge problem. They don't practice what they preach.
Oh yeah.
I remember going to a Grant Cardone 10X conference, and this guy's up there's like, we're going to grow your business on Facebook. And I went and checked him out, and my dog had more followers on Instagram. I was just like, really? And he was mostly an ad agency. But, if you're running ads, you should be running ads. Invest in the media there so the people seeing you're showing up in a way that accurately reflects the quality of service you provide. But then, I mean, it depends. I think home service, a lot of our customers are on Facebook because they're older demographic, but that's changing to Instagram. I mean, it's a lot of millennials on Instagram, and we all have kids in homes now. So it's, so I think that was an interesting way to maybe not answer your question.
No, I think the way, well, I mean, I think what you're saying right there is right on. I think you need to put it everywhere that's possible to put it, because that's where, your clients are going to research you on these places. You saw a speaker, you went to their Instagram, and then you said, okay, I liked what you were saying up there, but it's not being confirmed by what I'm seeing here on your Instagram. I'm researching you through your social media. I may hear about you there, but I'm going to go where I'm most comfortable to research you. If I use YouTube all the time, I may try to go to your YouTube page. If I'm a
Absolutely.
TikTok person, I'm going to go to your TikTok. Instagram is where I normally start for a business. I want to go check out their Instagram,
Same.
right? And then what I do is I've talked people about the 6-post rule, which is this. If an individual goes to your business Instagram page, they're going to pick one of the first 6 posts, click on it, and make an inference about your business. Just because you had a great piece of content a year ago, no one is scrolling down to January 2024 and going, oh, look at this video. Let me click on it and watch this company's story. Now, what I don't think enough businesses do, Jared, maybe correct me, but I don't think they repost enough content. I think you don't have a lot of followers. You posted something a year ago that was great. Why don't you just repost the thing? What, you think the 100 people that are following you, oh, you posted that a year ago. No, but maybe those 10 new people who could potentially use your business might see that and go, oh, now I want to work. I feel more comfortable with this company right here. But I think that social media is not looked at enough as what can capture your potential customer. Because if you confirm what you said in the ad, it's like, oh, that sounds good and this sounds good to me. I feel like I trust this company right here. It confirms what the ad is telling them.
And then here's the thing, like, so we repost content that's good. We also repost content that you can make a really great video with a good hook, with good value, and it not perform well. And there's variables for that. It could just be the algorithm that day. It could be the time of the day. And so if you also have content, you're working with somebody, man, this is a good video. Let's post it again. I've had videos that I posted that got, a couple thousand views. And then I was just determined. I'm like, no, this is a good video. And then boom, it gets, 10x the amount of views. So, and then also I've had videos that I repost that get millions, and I repost them and they get a couple thousand, but you have all that content, use it. So
Yeah, I don't think a lot of individuals understand how that algorithm works on, let's say, an Instagram. By reposting it, it may be shown initially to a different 10, 20 people.
and absolutely.
And if those people decide that they like it, it's going to branch out and show 100 more. I mean, sometimes it is a little bit of the luck of the draw. If you've got a great video and you believe in it and you want to get more eyeballs on it, repost the darn thing. Give
Absolutely.
yourself an opportunity if you believe in what you're saying.
People are not scrolling back. They're not scrolling. And now if you notice the Instagram feed, they got rid of squares and now it's a little more longer.
A 4x5.
So
Yeah.
I used to say your first 9 posts.
Okay.
But now it is 6 because which most of my pictures are 4x5, so I kind of like that. Thanks,
too.
Instagram.
Yeah.
But it's just so important. I mean, that's where they're gonna go, and you only get one first impression. So look, you show up, your ad's great, but the extension of that first impression is when they're gonna go to your social and see, okay, are they actually practicing what they preach? If you're a media company, do they actually do this with other roofers?
Mhm.
Like, is there one behind the scenes photo? Let's say you're a home service professional. Hey, we're gonna come out. Do you have hail damage? Reach out to us, one of our salesmen. We'd love to give you a free inspection. Okay, we'll go to their page. Can we show one picture, like with a homeowner or of your team on a roof? Like, I actually want to see that you actually do what you say you can do. So great place to kind of get that. You get that first impression, and that kind of can solidify it.
Absolutely. The one thing that bothers me when we work with a client, we'll go to their Instagram, we're researching them, and I'll see they are working with somebody that I consider what I call the $1,000 a month club. Meaning you pay this agency $1,000, they go into Canva and they create about 30 different Canva posts, and then they just post them once a day, and that's all you have on there. And people think that's doing something because it's filler content, as I say. It doesn't mean anything to somebody who comes to your page. It doesn't do anything for your business or say anything about what you do differently than other people. But this is something that frustrates me because at times
I'm like raging
I
on
know,
the inside.
but we
'cause
get
it's just-
compared as content creators of what we do at times to these agencies that are, in my opinion, stealing money from small business owners, creating this cookie cutter content that means nothing, Jared.
And that's when the business owner says, well, Facebook doesn't work. But it's like, but you were putting people online that weren't even your people. If you're a crew in Houston, Texas, I have one, and they're predominantly Hispanic, and you got a bunch of white guys in hard hats doing chimney work, like it's just not true. And
Yep.
it's not authentic. And I think I would like to believe most people are starting to see through that.
Yes.
Like you got to be able to see through that. I think people are. Maybe it's because I'm in this space. I know when it's stock footage, like right away. I'm like, oh. So highlight your people. If you're not proud of the team that you have enough to highlight them, turn them over. Like find new ones. Like that's what I like. I like working with businesses that are purpose driven, even if it's just to provide the most seamless roofing experience. But they also love and celebrate their team because as a homeowner, I want to hire a company where the employees actually like working there.
Absolutely.
So I think just I love employee highlight videos. We call them employee highlight videos. We highlight the employees because that's gonna help you do a few things. It's gonna help you get customers because customers want to work with people where the employees actually like their job, not where they're taking a break every 5 seconds, to do X, Y, and Z. But also for future team members as well. Like they want to work at a place. Every business owner is like, come work at our family.
Yep.
But like when you're telling the story of a team member who's like, oh, we just did one. Again, I'm going with this chimney company in Houston. The guy's like, yeah, I was homeless and now like I just bought a house. And that's one of my favorite videos because there's a story. He bought a house. And maybe I'm not homeless, but man, what an opportunity. So I have a funny story.
Tell me.
Let me wrap up. But no one is gonna share why you love what you do more than you. And
Yeah.
so I love doing a company like about stories.
Stories, I
Yeah.
think.
So,
Yeah.
why'd you get in this? Like why? Okay, when they say that they want to treat their people like family, their team, like why? And getting to so my wife always jokes. She'll be like, how'd the interviews go? I'm like, good. She's like, did you make anybody cry? And if it's a yes, we nailed it. And nothing's better than having, a tough guy, get emotional on camera, but like it's such a good thing. Such a good thing. I love those like authentic moments. And that's why I do a lot of conversational interviews because I really kind of pull it out. It's hard to do it with scripting, but um, no one's going to say like why you treat them like family. Why is that important to you? Maybe the service you provide. Like people get into service because like, man, like I do this because I got tired of seeing people get and take advantage of the roofing industry. I got, I got a guy, maybe it is okay. I got a guy, roofer. All of the installers are employees, which is kind of rare in this industry. They work with contractors. You want to know why? He got tired of seeing contractors get taken advantage of. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, my overhead's higher, but they're my employees. And I'm now investing in them and teaching them leadership and building a business, not just a sales company, which is what. But dude, I got a funny story. So here we are. We're talking about this conviction.
Yeah.
Oh man, you ever get a funny answer from a client
Let's go.
when you're
Oh, yeah.
interviewing? Oh, we are in. I'm not even going to say where we are at because I don't want this to go back to the person at all.
Okay.
Oh, we got the cameras, the lights, everything. Everything's looking amazing, and I could tell this was hard for him on camera. Like just being on camera was hard for him. So he's finally getting comfortable, I'm getting his story of why this is important. The company's named after him. Let's just call it Joe Smith Chimney. Okay. And I'm like, normally I say like, I get to why do you do this? What do you love about coming into work every day? I usually get one of two answers. I just love the people, the team that we have, and the fact that we're building something together. Or, man, I love that I'm keeping families warm and safe with safe burning fires in their home. And this guy goes, I'm like, Joe, what is your favorite thing about coming into work every day? Why do you do this? What do you love about it? He's just like looking at me. He's like, well, my name's on the truck. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, my name's on the truck. It's my favorite thing. And I'm like, okay, but why is that important to you? Like, buddy, I just always wanted my name on a truck. We didn't use that in the video, but I still today like laugh about that video. He's like, no, I don't care about any of this. I'm just glad my name's on the truck. I'm like, all right, we're not going to use that clip.
Yep.
But I still laugh about that to this. The only time I got that, but that was funny. Funny moment.
I've said before that there have been times where we cut off the camera and it happens quite a bit. And a contractor or client gives us a BS answer about how they want to serve clients and we want to make lives better and blah, blah, blah. And then I'll turn off the camera and I go, what's the real reason you want to do this? Man, you know what? I just love going to strip clubs. And that's what I want to do. And I want to have the money. I want to go pop bottles on the weekend. And you know what? I love going out there and this job of doing health insurance, let's just say that, gives me the money that I can go and I can ball out and I got the Mercedes out front. I love the way it makes me feel. And I think to myself, I'm like, God, I wish I could get that on camera because it's authentic.
Yeah.
And I think that no matter who you are on camera, the authenticity will always show through. And whether 50% or 70% of people disagree with you, that 30% of people who went, well, I get that. I guess that's, I love when my bonus check comes in because I can go do that same thing too. That
Yeah.
authenticity always shines through, in my opinion, on camera.
I mean, even in this blue collar space, I said earlier, like people just want to work hard, provide for their families. Like, you know what? If the favorite thing you love about this job is, look, I get to provide a service to give my family an amazing life. Like, if like I live in a beach town, like it's a huge boating community. If a roofer was like, yeah, I like this line of work, but I love what this business allows me to do to serve the community and spend time with my family. Like, when I'm not roofing, I'm on the boat.
Yeah,
Like, and so I've encouraged people to share a little bit more of that.
me too. Final question I
Go
have for
for
you,
it.
and we would both be in some trouble if I didn't ask you this one.
Go for it.
We were introduced to the same individual, Landon Rhodes, and being a part of his wealth. God, what am I talking? Wealthy Creative.
Uh-huh.
So being a part of his program, I have really enjoyed it.
Good.
I think that, and I'd love to know what your opinion is, because I think Landon is playing a big role right now in the media space, and I think a growing role. And I love his mission right now, and he seems to be helping individuals who are just starting and the people that are trying to scale their business. Can you talk about what the experience has been like for you?
Yeah, I'm kind of in that middle space where I reached a plateau where most of the people that were mentoring me, I was making more than them.
Yeah,
And it was kind of tough. Like I didn't know what to do next. I'd plateaued at an X amount of dollars for like 3 years in a row. And we get, as if you're in the media space, you get ads for these guys all the time. Like, hey, we're gonna grow your video company. And I remember I was driving on the way to Orlando, and I'm like, I'm actually gonna watch this video. And so I booked a call because I just thought there was something different about him.
I
Because
agree.
um, whether you're a Christian or not, like I know a lot of people that are very like purpose driven in their goals, and I just always struggled with like, you know, money, money. I go to these events and it's like money, 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 money. And yes, I want those things, but I want them for the right reasons. That's my conviction. And I want to, steward those things really well. And so I just remember like meeting with him. I was like, oh, like there's a purpose for this success that we can use that aligns with my worldview. Like we want to make a difference in our team, in the customers we serve, and in the families that we have. And there's nothing wrong with that. So he's been great for helping me with my mindset. It helped that we aligned. If there's these other video guys that align with you, that's fine. But um, it has been it's been a good experience because I needed. Hey, what did we say these people, these home service professionals need? They work with us because they need accountability. We're not just helping them show up professionally, but we're keeping them accountable. Landon keeps me accountable. And I was really on the fence about hiring him because it was the most expensive coaching I'd ever invested in. And a mentor that I have was like, Jared, how do you expect to sell high ticket video when you don't even invest in it yourself, like high ticket yourself? I don't know if that was a good advice or not, but I'm like, screw it, I'm doing it. So I went home, signed up. I've been with him for 2 years now, a little longer, but that's because we've made a lot of pivots from, now we're going heavily into jujitsu. So he's almost helped me fix one business and start another one. But it's been a great experience, and the accountability has been huge. I think for me, because I have the vision, I have the dreams, but like, I why are you ever feel like, how is this person getting to where they want to get so much quicker than I am? That was something that I needed to get to that next level. Like, I mean, this beautiful space here, this is our next level. If this is what we want. And it's like, like, what do now we have a roadmap to get there. So it's been a great experience. I think accountability is key.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jared Quackenbush, Rock City Media and Combat
Combat
Creative. I got it right here. If you are over on the East Coast, you're a small business owner, you want to get involved with great media content, and you're like, hey, I don't identify with Patrick. He's just not my guy. This is the guy I want you to call right here. Get involved with him. You will not be disappointed. Thank you for stopping by, brother.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.